Have you ever imagined building your dreams with your own hands, watching it grow into one of the biggest companies in the world, and then being thrown out of it? Not by strangers, but by the very company you created. Most people would never recover. Most people would let failure define them. But one man chose a different path. He turned rejections into the revolutions. He turned pain into the purpose. And he proved to the world that sometimes the greatest comeback began with the greatest setback. Hello everyone, I am Babidashri. Today I invite you to witness the incredible journey of a man who changed the way we live, the way we communicate, and the way we imagine technology. This is the story of Steve Jobs. Steve Jobs was born on February 24, 1955 in San Francisco, California. Soon after his birth, he was adopted by Paul and Clara Jobs. Although he didn't grow up with wealth, he grew up surrounded by the love, curiosity, and encouragement. His father taught him something that stays with him forever. If you're going to build something, build it beautifully, even in the parts that nobody sees. The lesson became part of the Steve's life. As a young boy, he loved talking things about radios, electronics, machines. He was not just curious about how things work. He wanted to know how they could be made better. Years passed, his passion for technology kept growing. Then he met another young man, Steve Wozniak. Both of them shared the same dream to build computers that ordinary people could use. In 1976, inside a small garage, they founded a company called Apple. It was not a luxurious office. There were no thousands of employees, no $1 billion investments, just two dreamers, a garage, and an impossible vision. Many people laughed. Some said computers will never become personal. But Steve Jobs believed something different. He believed that innovation begins where doubt ends. Day and night they worked, they faced the problems, they made the mistakes, but they refused to stop. Slowly, Apple began to grow. The impossible was becoming reality. Steve Jobs had achieved what millions only dreamed about. He had built one of the fastest growing technology companies in the world. Everyone thought his future could only become brighter, but life was preparing him for the biggest challenge he would ever face. The company he had created was about to make a decision that would break his heart. And that decision would change his life forever. Failure was not his end, it was his beginning. Steve Jobs had everything: success, money, respect. Then, at just 30 years old, he was fired from Apple and very company he had created. Imagine that moment, your life work's gone. The world believed his story was over. For months, Steven felt lost. But instead of giving up, he asked himself one question: what do I love? The answer was simple: creating. So he started again. He founded a new company called Next. He also bought a small animation studio called Pixar. At the time, new people believed Pixar would come anything special. But still believed great ideas. Years later, Pixar released Toy Story, the world's first fully computer animated film. It became a huge success. Meanwhile, Apple was struggling. The company that had once fired Steve needed help. In 1997, Steve Jobs returned to Apple, not with anger, not with revenge, but with vision. He simplified the products, he focused on innovation, he inspired his team to think differently. Then came products that changed the world. The iMac, the iPod, the iPhone, the iPad. Millions of lives were transformed. The one who had once been rejected became the leader who rebuilt one of the world's most valuable companies. Steve Jobs taught us something unforgettable. Sometimes life hits you hard. Sometimes it takes away what you love. But don't lose faith. Your greatest setback may become the beginning of your greatest success. In 2005, he gave a speech that inspired millions. He remembered us that we cannot connect the dots looking forward. We can only connect them looking back. So trust your journey, trust your efforts, trust that every failure is teaching you something. If you love what you do, don't stop learning, keep believing. I'm Bhagidashree and I want to leave you with one final thought. Don't fear failure, fear living a life where you never had the courage to follow your dreams. Because one decision, one idea and one moment of courage can change your life forever. Thank you, and remember, the people who dare to think differently are the people who change the world.